Now let's talk about the importance of research. Research will help you understand your customers because frankly, if you're not out talking to your prospects, if you're not out talking to your customers, if you're not out talking to people that were your customers but ultimately canceled, you are leaving money on the table. Research helps you understand your market's concerns, their fears, their questions, their concerns, their desires, and their motivations. Once you understand all of these, you're going to understand the market better than they understand themselves. So doing your research on all of those segments, prospects, customers, and people who canceled, understanding what makes all of those people tick will help you acquire new customers and keep them longer. In addition, research also helps you to improve your website. This is a true story. Back when Darcy and I were consultants, one of our clients had started working with a new design agency. And like most design agencies will do, they wanted to go and just redesign everything. So I flew out to meet with them and my client. So my client and I are sitting there in this big boardroom. You can imagine it's like straight out of Mad Men with a large cherry table, and they've got the website up on the big screen. And they're going through the website page by page, and they're just tearing it apart. Oh, this headline's terrible. Oh, these graphics are awful. Oh, this element should just be removed. We should start from scratch and we should do all these other things. It'll be amazing. And I asked them, what research do you have to support all of this? They didn't have any. They were just going on their own random opinion. And I pointed out to them that the funnel that we had designed had been based on research. We knew that headline was directly addressing the main concerns that people had. We knew that that image highlighted the key value that people were looking for. We knew that those elements that we had added to the pages were there for a reason. They were there to help convince people to buy. And all of that was based on the research that we had done. We had also split tested these pages consistently. So we only kept the elements that mattered, the ones that actually increased revenue. And based on all of that, I said to the design agency, do you really want to go through and just start from scratch? Do you really think that you know better? Is that a good idea? And they thought about it and they said, yeah, let's go do it. So they went and designed a whole bunch of new pages. They took 9 attempts to beat the control. That is the page that we had designed. And all 9 of those attempts significantly lost, meaning that they produced less leads, less sales, and less revenue for the client. We wouldn't have known that if we hadn't done the research and if we hadn't run a split test to verify it. So all told, all of those losses would have cost the client literally millions of dollars a year in revenue. Now that's the importance of research. It shows you the importance of understanding your customers and how you can improve your website based on those insights. As a result, of course, you're going to make more money. You're going to understand how to speak to your market. You're going to understand how to convince them to take the next step. You're going to increase your sales and you're going to keep those customers longer. You're going to be able to sell them additional products and additional services because you know what those additional pain points are and how you can help them. When you understand your market better than they understand themselves, that is the winning recipe. This will help you to focus on the right things. If you know for a fact that the top 3 objections that your audience has is about price, where the item can be shipped to, and the lack of having a guarantee, if those are the big 3 objections and you know this from your research, then why on earth would you worry about doing a redesign? Why would you spend time changing the colors on your buttons or some other nonsense? Just focus on those 3 things and you're going to see an impact. Now, research doesn't just apply to websites or web design or copywriting or sales. It also applies to products. As you're doing your research, you'll understand what elements of your product or your service people love the most. And you can start to double down on that. Figure out ways to make it more efficient, to scale it further. Furthermore, you're going to understand what parts of your product or service people don't care about. And you can just either stop doing them or stop focusing on them so much. So every day, you and your team will wake up and start working on things that matter. And that's what matters most. Lastly, research will also help you strengthen your brand. When you understand your market, you're going to understand the words that they're using, their exact words that they use to express their concerns because you've asked them in surveys and user tests and other ways. You'll know those words and you'll know how to speak to them. and you'll know how to position yourself in the market so that you address those direct concerns in a unique and novel way. You can't do any of this without proper research. Here's an example of research in action. A company was curious as to why they weren't making more sales. So rather than just making up some wild-ass guesses about what they should do, they launched an email survey. And they said, hey, if you're already a customer, what almost stopped you from buying? And if you didn't buy, could you tell us why not? Why didn't you buy from us? What they discovered was that price was a big objection. So that's why the visitors weren't buying. It had nothing to do with the design. It had nothing to do with the button colors. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was just price. That was what people were worried about. So the company did two things. They added copy that highlighted how much time people could save using the product. Now all of a sudden, it's not about price. It's about value. If something was going to save you 40 hours a week, you'd probably be interested in spending some money. And that's exactly what they did. The other thing that they realized was that they could offer a payment plan. Instead of asking for all of the money up front, they said, hey, you can pay us over 60 monthly installments. And that helped to further reduce the risk. Also, it gave people a chance to try it out at a much lower cost. And because they knew they had a dynamite product, it didn't matter. In fact, their conversions would go up. Now that's the power of research in action. For more insights like this, visit us at funnelcandy.com. My wife and I advised over 140 companies, including Amazon, Dropbox, and Wired, and increased their revenues by over $100 million a year. Now we've retired from consulting and we offer all of our expertise for free. So check it out at funnelcandy.com.